to the faces of the Wait, what's our name? The Unnamed Gaming Podcast. Look at us. We're here. Craig's here. Tempus is here. Nettle's here. Say hello, everybody. Wave. We're actually waving at our cameras and you can see it.
Do you know what's funny is...
Sorry, the cat's just come to say hello as well.
Oh my God. It's the first episode. It's the first episode where we're showing our faces, and I've instantly face palmed in like 30 seconds into the podcast. So, good start.
It's what
this is all.
Start as you mean to go on.
Absolutely.
I'm happy with this. I'm happy with what's happening right now.
You can see our faces.
You can see our faces. I am representing the podcast. Cthulhu there. Other things. This is my background. Anyway, we're the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. We now have faces, which is fun. I'm Bendy, your Admiral Idiot, lover of games, doer of cosplays, and other things. Nestle, who are you?
Nettle. I also cosplay. I don't actually do any streaming at the moment, but there is some YouTube content.
Nettlecreates. General Idiot. Tempus, where are you?
Hello.
You're there.
Me, I'm underneath you currently. In the boxes on the screen. Okay. And no, I'm Tempusbe, streamer, martial idiot, and obviously user of innuendos.
I'm really comfortable right now. I've got to do this.
Can I poke Bendy?
No, it's the other way now. It's the other way.
That way. That way.
She's on my left.
Way.
Oh, she's a different position to where she's on ours.
Oh, no. Craig, this is all your fault.
I don't know how it's going to look on the thing because it's obviously recording yours and not mine. So
yeah, well, I was going to say mine's the one that's going on YouTube. Yeah, there we go. Yay. Bookie.
High five.
Boink. Boink.
From my point of view, it just looks like you're both going like that on the different directions.
But Tempus is definitely down, right?
Yes. I will keep my hand below neck level.
I beg your pardon?
I said neck level. It wasn't a brag.
I'm hosting, so it's descended into madness already. We've said our hellos, shown our faces. Let's go on to the rest of the podcast. What have we been playing this week, guys? Tell me. Tempus, what have you been playing?
Right, okay, so carrying on with Witcher 3. We're getting on with some bits. I finished from what I can understand, the Triss storyline at the moment. So big Sag. So far, I've said so far.
So far,
I'm guessing she'll come back. Yeah.
So far. Wait.
But
what did you? Sorry, I have to ask. When you say you've come to the end of the Triss storyline, what part was that to you?
She's gone off on a boat.
She went off.
Yeah.
And you made a bad decision. That's the case of a bad decision.
No, wait, hang on. She went. Yeah. Did you speak to Dijkstra? They went. And you spoke to Dijkstra, and that was it.
Yeah. Because it was the option was either ask her to stay, or let her say farewell. And I thought, do you know what?
And you've definitely run away from the harbour.
Yes, I think so. I don't know. I think I finished it. I don't actually think I've moved from there. I think I saved it and left. Saved it and finished the game.
Yeah, but I think there's a cutscene that happens straight away.
I didn't get one, so.
Oh, Tempus, I'm so sorry.
The thing is, after obviously what happened earlier on in my stream when I kissed her on the fountain and everyone was like, "Oh my God, what a creep!" So I thought I'd be nice and just say, "Fare thee well."
So I'm guessing this is your Yennefer run.
Fuck.
Did you want it to be your Triss run and you've made it a Yennefer run?
Nah, I'm celibate now.
I've got two very disappointed faces here. Like, Tempus's face is just like, no, why Yennefer run? No, I want a Triss.
Triss is my bae.
I'm really hoping I've
She's
forgotten
gone.
something
Nah,
She's
you know
gone.
what?
that
I'm
hasn't
going.
happened because, yeah. I
No,
know
I'm
how
going
much he
Cameron.
wants. I know he
I'll
wants.
find Kira instead.
Well, I mean, you've already gone down that witch.
Sorry, what?
On that,
You
which
broke up a little bit there. Anyway, moving on. I also have been. I forgot to mention it like last couple of weeks actually, but I've been playing Strange Brigade. I don't know if either of you
Strange.
heard that. It's
Have you
very
come
good.
into Bendy's Strange Corner and
Come.
been strange?
Have you heard of Strange Brigade?
No, tell me.
It is a up to 4-player co-op game set in like the 30s or 40s or something, and you're like an adventuring group in Egypt trying to stop this awakened witch queen, and she like raises mummies and everything like that. But it's brilliant. The writing in it is fantastic because there's a narrator, and he's so funny. But I actually I've been playing it with our friend Hole, and
Oh, I see how it is.
I did tell you to get it.
No, I forgot.
What can I do about it? Anyway, we beat the last boss yesterday, so we've only got some DLC left to do. But I'd played it when it first come out and never actually got around to finishing it, so it's been good to actually finish it. And it was such a like the last boss. I was like, well, I wasn't expecting that, so it was very good.
So, Bendy, you and I have actually played this before.
We?
Yeah.
Do we play it at EGX?
Res, yeah. 2018.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we know about this.
I do vaguely remember this, some of the gameplay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. And the thing is,
I remembered the name and I couldn't think why.
it's
Rest.
definitely got replayability in it as well. Because
Yeah.
like obviously it's 1 to 4 players, so you can easily run through it again with other people. So
Is it on our best friend the Game Pass or like on Steam?
Unfortunately, no. I did originally own it on the Xbox, but I bought it recently when, get this, right, PlayStation sale.
PlayStation had a sale.
I know. PlayStation sale. It was the Ultimate Edition. Was like, I don't even think it was still on. I don't even think the Ultimate Edition was on sale. It was still like £40 or something like that, whatever it was. But you could get the regular edition and all the DLCs for it all for £7 separately.
Oh,
that's not bad.
So we did that.
Fair enough.
I mean, good deal. Still a good deal.
Absolutely.
absolutely. But yes, that was me. That was me for the week.
Interesting.
At all. What have you been up to?
So it's been a bit of a strange week for me. I haven't done a lot of playing new games. I've always played a bit of Stardew Valley, a bit of Apex, Destiny, the usual ones. But I have just literally in the last day started a new game called Omno, which is a single player Omno. Sounds like a breathing chant. Omno. Yeah, it's a single player kind of like puzzly discovery game, kind of like Sable, but not to the degree of like graphics and massive world. But it's really calming. It's just like you're a person with a little staff that goes around doing things that releases little bits of light, and you get abilities to dash and go faster, and you solve the puzzles, and then you go around and do it a different way, and then you go to a different place and you do the same thing. I'm only a few like levels in at the moment. There's much more to come, but it's just really relaxing. It's one of those games where it doesn't have any voice acting. It's all, all the text is written about what's happening, and it's all music, all really calming music in your ears, and it's like, oh, this is really nice. So yeah, I'm going to be kind of doing that after work a bit this week just to calm down a little bit, because it's a bit manic. So, but yeah, it's fun. It's on our favourite platform, Game Pass. It's free.
You don't
it's free.
say.
Good old Game Pass.
I don't know how long it's going to... No. I don't know how long it's going to be on there for, but if you can't find it, if it's come off of whatever at any point when you're listening to this, it is at the moment only like £11 on Steam, or full price is $14.99. So it's not breaking.
Hardly anything.
Yeah.
For a good time.
And it's a single developer, Jonas Mank. Apologise if I said your name wrong.
Jonas.
But yes, single developer, and it's nice. It's a really nice little game. It's very pretty. Very pretty. It's done very well with
Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I would.
Oh,
But yeah,
being relaxing.
That's my little deal for this week. The only real new thing is no. No.
I know I said that I would be just playing Skyward Sword. Well, I haven't played any Skyward Sword. I picked up Hitman because the trilogy is on Game Pass.
It is.
And I watched people play it, and I was like, this looks fun, and I want to play it, and I am now hooked. Everyone know, like, I played like Blood Money and like some of the really old Hitmans. Everyone knows who Agent 47 is, and this is just, there's some intrigue with like the story and stuff, because there is actually a story, and I'm enjoying murdering people. Because I never did any of the really crazy ways to do stuff like you did in the old Hitman games. Like, I remember seeing people do like the nightclub with the chicken, like poisoning the chicken with the fat dude, and I can't remember which Hitman that was in, but there's loads of different story arcs that you can do, and it's easier to find to then kill them in the coolest ways. And I did it all like silent assassin, and I'm not very good at stealth at all, but being able to like blend in, because the first one of Hitman 1 is you have to infiltrate a fashion show, and fortuitously you look exactly like the main guy.
Oh, obviously. How it works.
So you just have to like get into the back and then dress up as the main guy, and then that means you can get up into like the women's chambers and then silently murder her and put her in a cupboard. And then you have to kill her husband. So I just thought, I'm going to do this little like rendezvous thing that he's doing, and I'm going to kick him off a bridge. And I did, and it's really good, and it's a lot simpler than the old Hitman games, I think, and it gives you a lot of more opportunity. So you could just go in outside Xbox mic style, guns blazing, or you can go real like more accidental, and I think I'm going to try and do so it looks like an accidental kill in every single sorry, am I boring you?
But you wouldn't have known if we didn't have cameras.
Day. I totally understand. I feel the same way. I'm like,
right, you'll get your own back, I'm sure. Now, I think it's when you get to Hitman 3, by the way, and I think I remember seeing a friend do this, you can kill people by yeeting cupcakes at them.
That's in the
I think I saw Adventure do that.
Yeah, that's in the where you have to go to like a garden party, right? There's a garden party going on, and you can pick up cupcakes and just yeet cupcakes at people. Yeah,
I think
probably going to do that.
No,
100%.
my camera. I'm sorry. There we go. It's come back again.
I saw them do one where they were throwing yeetings, yeeting cupcakes at Sean Bean's character.
Oh, yes, yeah, and they also did the pen in the eye.
Yeah,
he threw a pen in his eye.
Did you throw cupcakes at Sean Bean? Hasn't that man been through enough?
He dies and everything.
Apparently not. No.
I'm gonna also move away from like video games for a second, and at the weekend I ran another game of Blades in the Dark.
Very nice.
Which I just want to give a shout out to again. I play D&D all the time. I don't have DM, but the world for our Blades in the Dark game is my own world. I've created it. It's all my story, and we had a horribly great time because one of my characters has significant trauma, and I've just sort of fucked him over, and
Wow.
I'm loving doing that. Well, he's now they were smugglers, so you choose like the style of crime you're going to do. And they're smugglers, so they smuggle in contraband, smuggle out contraband, mostly spirits and things and deeds to like houses and stuff like that. Do a little bit of thievery, and I've made him an assassin.
Oh, wow.
Instead, I've gone, right, he's got a contract from a demon, and that means he is now an assassin. So he has to either try and hide it from the rest of his crew, or he can bring the crew in and also become assassins. They'll be smuggling assassins. So they have the ability to be both. And that's what I really like about Blades is you can just change whenever you want to. Like in D&D you have a class, and yes, you can multi-class, but you can't just go, I'm not feeling like I don't want to be a druid anymore. I feel like being a rogue, full rogue. Whereas this, you go, right, I'm done with the hunter, the hound playbook. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's train in something else and then become, I don't know, a spider. And then you can role play around changing from like a hunter to somebody who does like social stealth. And as a GM, I get to go, oh, how are they going to do that? And guide them on their way. And they had a really good. They can't roll less than a 5. I swear to God. Like there was some tricky ones at like one point, but they roll real well. So I couldn't give them too much disaster, unfortunately. But I have given this horrible problem. I like being a GM. I like being able to screw my players. No ideas, Tempusbe.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ben. We're absolutely fucked.
Trauma. Give it to me.
Look. I don't want you to die in the first session. What fun would that
Smile!
be? Shit, I forgot
Mate,
my camera.
I've already got my backup character. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I haven't. I'm just going to be a ghost. I'm going to be a ghost and I'm going to yeet kettles at all of you. All right?
See? That's something you can do in Blaze in the Dark. If you die, you can actually come back and do the ghost playbook.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a ghost in.
I'm not being funny. If we ever play that, Nettle's just yeeting herself off a building.
Level 4 harm, dead. Or you can just be a ghost. Like in the world that I've created, it's not uncommon to see ghosts.
Be a ghost.
Be a ghost.
What made you want to be a ghost?
You want the backstory, surely, of how you died.
I yeeted myself off a cliff.
Exactly.
You yeeted yourself off, came back.
It's just so much fun.
So that's what I've been playing, both tabletop and video games.
Talking about tabletop RPGs, shall we take a shift dynamically to the back streets and talk about what we may have been watching that we've all watched that has something to do with tabletop RPGs?
What a transition that was.
That was hostly. That was. I wasn't going to mention the Legend of Vox Machina. So good.
It's so good!
Can you pull on my beads of love, please? Alan fucking Shorthole. Sam Regal's an evil genius, and I love him so much. And that show is absolute perfection. I've just finished the whole of campaign 1, like watching it. I was doing a watch through because I hadn't seen it. I watched the last episode the day that Legend of Vox Machina came out, and now I've watched all the one-shots, and I'm like, I'm going back to the first arc, the Briarwoods, those sexy
Oh my god.
bastards.
How good were they?
There's a scene, and sorry, spoilers. Skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers.
3-second spoiler warning. 1, 2, 3. You've been warned.
When he walks past the mirror,
yes,
and you only see Lady Briarwood, and you're like, and obviously if you're a fan of campaign 1, you know
yeah,
that he's a vampire. but it's just such a little subtle nod of this them walking and him not having a.
Yeah, I picked up on that straight away. I was like, yes, the
I
detail.
literally went. So good, so good.
So good.
What do you guys think? Are you as excited as I am?
But
'Cause
yes,
you're coming in it fresh.
I
You've
have
not watched
never,
any
I
Critical Role
haven't
at
watched
all.
any, or I haven't really listened to any Critical Role. This is all fresh to me, and I just loved every character. And I know I don't know D&D as well as you guys, but like the characters that were portrayed in there is just like, that's exactly what I was expecting. That was exactly what I
Okay.
was expecting.
For someone that's new to it and you've come in straight to the animated series, who is your favourite?
God, come on.
Well, I mean Scanlan, yeah, Scanlan.
Scanlan's great. I don't remember him being that
No.
horny at the beginning.
Honestly, I
But he
feel like
was.
I think they're really pushing the boundaries with this. I think they're a little bit more over the top than what they were during the actual campaign. But you know, it's Scanlan. It's what he does.
I'm very partial to Grog. Like I love Grog. I think he's a great character. I absolutely love Travis Willingham, and any character Travis Willingham plays is fantastic. Like Ford's really good in campaign 1, and I'm really enjoying Chetney in campaign 3. But the design of Percy is just incredible, like because you don't have that visualization of the smoke monster when they're playing the game, and when he's standing there and he's put the mask on and he's saying your soul is forfeit, and then that hand comes out, because I remember that scene in the campaign, but it's not as impactful as just seeing like that sort of shadow and then that hand. I was just like, Percy! Ah!
So Andy and I, like, obviously we didn't really know what was going on there, and it was a complete switch of character for us. So, like, obviously we had Posh Percy, who was, you know, the last episode was everything got a bit freaked out and emotional for him, and then all of a sudden this mask came over, and me and Andy just went, "What the fuck!" It was brilliant.
Yeah. The thing is, like, obviously, them giving us only the first 3 episodes, leaving it where they did in episode 3 was like, no, I need more. Give me more
Give me
now.
more! I
It
need
needs to be Friday.
Put it in my veins.
It's Titmouse have done a great job animating it as well. Like big shout out to them. It reminds, I think it's trying to hit their age group as actors, because it has that very much that 90s X-Men DC animation style, and I think if they had their say, that's the reason why. And I'm in love with the animation style, to be honest. I think
It works
the
so
way
well.
It looks
the way they've
fantastic.
created the characters and the way they look.
Did you see some of the voice actors that have been in it as well?
David Tennant.
Yeah.
David Tennant. Stephanie Beatriz.
I knew as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, he's gonna be bad, isn't he? Yes, he is. Oh, look, there he is.
Carrie Payton as well.
Yeah.
And I like the voices they've got for those big, like Lady Allura and
Kima.
Kima. Yeah, I really like Kima because I like Kima anyway. I think she's great.
Yeah.
I
think
excited
Stephanie
for more.
Beatriz as her is just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes. She has that voice. She has the right voice. The right voice, definitely.
Just Rosa Mendes, isn't it?
Yeah. A dwarf.
That's it.
Dwarf paladin Rosa Diaz. I like the way that they're kind of they bring in the rules into like the way that combat works, which is quite nice as well. So yeah, good. Well done.
I will say, it's been worth the wait from when they first announced the Kickstarter. It's been like 3 years now, something like that, and it's just
Well, I was just watching some of the one shots, and they're like, "Yeah, this is our stretch goal for our Kickstarter." And then looking at when that was released, and that was released 2 years ago, so that was just after the Kickstarter had finished. But yeah, I know it's a lot of commitment to actually watch Critical Role because it's thousands of hours of content. Even if you're just looking at campaign 1, let alone the other 2 campaigns now. So I like the fact that people that don't have the time can actually see these characters that so many people have fallen in love with, and see their building of
Well,
where they go.
depending on how many episodes it is a season, like this whole season would probably take as long to watch as a single episode of Critical Role.
It's 12
12?
episodes.
Right. So that's like
makes
still,
sense for them releasing 3 a week.
Yeah. Is it 3 a week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So another
yes.
3 on Friday.
That's still not going to be enough.
Tomorrow, if you're listening to
It's
this.
not enough.
It's not. It's not enough. And you know this first season's going to be Briarwoods, and then if they do season 2, you're like, you know what's coming after season 2, and then season 3 is the big.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then do we get campaign 2?
I hope so.
I suspect Amazon will definitely get enough people watching this.
I'm not being funny. I think it's going to do so well just because of the amount of people that just watch Critical Role as it is. So you're going to have all of them people watching it. Then you're going to get all the other people that might have been interested in D&D or even just see a new animated TV show on Amazon Prime. It's probably going to do.
It's good.
Brilliant.
Like it's adult too. It's very adult.
Yeah.
Like, you could
Absolutely.
easily
Very
go
adult.
very kiddie with Critical Role, but it's just like when Grog comes up and goes, "Is that normal?" That's my Grog. It was the greatest. You're welcome, Travis.
Excellent.
And I'm not saying there may be some cosplays that come out of this, but there were some discussions about cosplays coming out of this. So
Yeah. Give me cosplay guides, Amazon.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Please.
Give them.
Are they saying that?
Give.
There's definitely something for Caleb because I found it. So where did I find
Yes.
it?
Yeah. I do like her design. I just like her antlers.
A full 360 design, so you might be one already.
Find one for Percival, von Musel, Frederick Steen. No, there's more. There's way more names.
More than that. Like
We don't have enough time in this podcast for that name.
Yes, we don't have time for that. Thank you for bringing that up, Nettle, because obviously I got very excited about that. That was good. We are always a D&D podcast, but we like to talk about amazing things that are being released. But also there's news that happens.
Yes, there is.
So, such a good. Good. What's on the news, Mr. Tempus?
Well, I'm glad you said Mr. Tempus, because if you'd have said Mr. Nettle, I'd have been a little.
I was going to say Mrs. Tempus.
Nettle just shrugs. That's it.
Mrs. Tempus.
She's gone. Right. Okay. So my news. I'm going to talk a little bit about the new Apex season that's coming up. Don't know if you've seen it or not. I'm assuming Nettle has, because it is coming up to the 3rd year anniversary of Apex as well.
Is it really?
3 years, yeah.
Crikey on a bicycle.
Remember, the last 2 years have been pretty much 1 year.
I know. Sorry, I'm rearranging myself.
Me too. Oh, there's a knee.
Oh, we got a knee. We got a knee, everyone.
Wearing shorts.
I'm not.
You're just wearing pants. White pants.
Sure.
We'll go with pants.
We'll go with that. So the new season starts soon. There will be 3 weeks of celebrations where you can earn skins. First week is what's his face? Octane. Second week will be Watson, and I can't remember who the third week is now because it doesn't actually tell me on this thing I'm looking at. But there are lots of other new skins coming out. There's almost like team skins as well. So like a few characters have the same like matching color schemes, which is cool. You've got the new hero coming, which is Mad Maggie.
So excited for her.
She looks like she's shotgun heavy. But let's have a look what her. I did have it here. Her abilities. She has what's called a riot drill, tactical. You shoot it, it sticks into walls and like rampart shields, and it will shoot a burst of fire through the other side. So it actually is going to stop people camping, I think, with like rampart shields. We won't talk about that now. And then her ultimate is she throws a giant wrecking ball that drops speed boosting pads where it bounces and exploding near enemies. So that will
be fun.
Chaos.
Absolute chaos. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to her.
Also, the Olympus map will have some changes to it this season. It's going to be sabotaged. So you'll have new POIs appearing all over the map. It looks like they've been teleported in from other places. And I think the biggest part of this is for those 3 weeks, first 3 weeks of the season, there will be a new LTM, which will be control. Now this is madness. As in most kind of games with these controls, there's certain points that you have to take and keep control of, and the longer you have it, the more points you get, and such. But it is 2 teams of 9 heroes, but your team of 9 is set into teams of 3, so you can have multiple of the same heroes. So each team could have like a Gibraltar, and each team could have like a Fuse, and you can have. It sounds weird. I thought it was just 6v6 when I looked at the trailer, but reading up on what the actual specifics are, it sounds mad. Yeah, I'll read this properly.
Be a Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and there's infinite respawns as well because it's the time limit event. So if you die, you just respawn and come back. But your teams are formed of 3 trios. So expect some wild combinations from duplicate heroes. That's just gonna be chaos all over the shop. But that's my news for the week. The upcoming Apex stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I knew Control was coming in. I assumed it was just you, like Overwatch, you pick a hero and you go in with them. Having multiple of the same legend is going to be crazy, and I'm going to hate every single Octane that I come up against, even if they're on my team.
Boot them. Team kills are allowed.
This is the thing. It's just because you've got 9 and you can and you're separated into trios. You could easily have 3 of the most stupidest campy or whatever type characters, and you all just go and sit on a point.
So you can't have the same hero in a team, so you'd have different so you can have a team of Octanes.
No. So you get
but there'll be an Octane in your team and in the other team.
So there's your team of 3. You can only have 1 of each, but another team of 3 could all be the same characters.
So all you need is a Gibraltar, and just go to a control point, chuck your Gibby shield down, and Bob's your uncle's fanny's your aunt. I've never understood that.
I'm Bendy. I understand Apex.
He plays it and he doesn't. That's interesting. I do love Apex. I their seasons, the new season, the new things that they bring in every season are actually fun. I am quite glad Olympus is back. I am not glad that I will end up just running off an edge, as is traditional in Olympus.
Everyone's going to be trying to insta-click the new hero, and
let them do it. Let them do it. Let them die down for a bit. They're gonna they'll inevitably nerf her at the end of a few weeks.
She'll be OP to start.
They always are. So
play testing.
Yeah.
Play testing is here. Here's a hero. Oh, you don't like that? We'll change it. That's how Overwatch works. Here, have
But
this
it's working
character.
Destiny.
Brig destroys the game. Oh, I suppose we better do something about that.
In 3 weeks'
Nah.
time.
After like 6 months and everyone hating it.
You can't change
it 'cause of
Overwatch League. Hello.
You have some big old news, right? Something happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened this week.
No,
Absolutely nothing happened.
Something did happen to the point where I was coming home from work yesterday. It was yesterday. No, it was Monday. I was coming home from work. Andy and I were going to get a takeaway. So here's a bit of life story, everyone. I hope you're sitting with a bit of a cup of tea, maybe a glass of whiskey. Story time. I was walking home from work. I was standing outside the takeaway, waiting for Andy, scrolling Twitter, when all of a sudden my eyes wandered upon a piece of news. This piece of news was so excited that when Andy rounded the corner, I screamed at the top of my voice, "Oh my god! Sony have bought Bungie!" Yes, Sony have bought Bungie for $3.6 billion.
It's a thumbnail.
Yeah. What could we be shocked about?
What are we shocked about this week? And I, much like the Activision Blizzard Microsoft deal, I didn't see this coming. Nobody, no Destiny fan, Bungie fan saw this coming because Destiny, Bungie have had such a shitty relationship with people in the past. They had a terrible relationship with Activision Blizzard. They had a terrible relationship with Microsoft, and they never wanted to do it again. And then all of a sudden, they're in bed with Sony. They're not quite in bed with Sony. They're lying on top and just kind of cuddling a little bit, because the biggest thing about this is they are going to retain their anonymity and their own way of doing things. They're going to do self-publishing. Their independence. They are not... Everything they do is going to be multi-platform. Sony are going to be giving them a bunch of money in exchange for giving their knowledge on multi-platform and gas games for a service, because Bungie are very good for this. They know what they're doing with it. They have a lot of talent in-house that can help Sony with it, and that is what has been pretty much pushed as why they did this deal. And
right, so they're bringing how to do multi-platform. Sony are buying Bungie so they can get better at multi-platform.
Yep. Indeed.
Okay.
I think
their crossplay is pretty shocky.
It's awful.
Isn't it?
It's awful.
There's a lot that...
When Horizon Zero Dawn first came out on PC, it was unplayable. It was bad. It was really bad. They had to do a lot of patches for it to actually run properly. Not the game. The game obviously wasn't bad, but the porting to PC was just terrible. They did not do it properly. So they don't have the expertise needed to port onto PC. Now, I know that for a lot of their exclusive games, this comes way later anyway, but clearly they are thinking about bringing stuff into different platforms much earlier now, because otherwise they just wouldn't care.
Makes me laugh that it's Sony and they don't know how to port things properly.
They're so inside knowledge. Trying to get anything onto Sony, onto PlayStation, is a fucking nightmare. It is not easy. You have to go through all sorts of hurdles, back end and front end, to get it done. So they are not the easiest company when it comes to anything technology-based, which is just bizarre.
You know, what? The second oldest? And the biggest technology company in the world? So you just about Sony.
I think the problem with them is that they had very knowledgeable people for 10 years ago. They haven't kept up with what's happening. So, yeah.
I don't hate Sony. Before anybody tells me that I hate Sony, because I don't. I just don't own a PlayStation, okay? I would own a PlayStation if I could. I feel like they've rested a lot on the fact they have great exclusives. and they haven't thought about the wider gaming community. Like Xbox don't have their exclusives, so they have to think about something else. So they've got their Game Pass, and they've got their being able to port to PC really easily, because they can do PC quite easily, and they're thinking about cross-platform and all of this sort of stuff. And I guess Sony do need to get all the times in that retrospect. And I think it's going to be better for everybody, because if you can easily get Sony exclusives on PC, they're gonna sell more.
Yeah,
they're gonna sell more. Like, yes, they may not sell consoles, but they'll sell games, which is the actual thing that makes money, because consoles don't make
consoles
money.
don't make them any
Games make
money. Yeah,
So-
no, it's a win-win situation for Sony. Bungie, it is one of those things where they've had such bad relationships in the past with their previous publisher, like, and dealers, that if the player base doesn't get what it wants out of this, there's going to be a lot of, well, you knew this was going to happen. You've done it before and it hasn't gone right. Why did you do it again? But it's a bit different this time, because them and Sony they're like, their CEO is talking to their CEO, rather than like them going into this really weird middle ground of this one publisher talking for both of them. So
it's not a merger, it's an acquisition.
it's an acquisition.
I don't know what that was, but
But an
apparently
acquisition where they retain their own identity. So
whereas I can see the Activision Blizzard Xbox takeover, that's like one CEO dripping down into it, and they are merging with Xbox, whereas Bungie will be Bungie, and I guess Sony will be Sony, and although they are owned, they have their own CEO and all of that.
Yeah.
Business and jazz.
Business. But like
basically,
basically
Bungie have just been given a load of money in their
A
back
load of
pocket
money,
to carry on doing
yeah.
what they were doing.
Absolutely. Which is
Which
great. It's absolutely fantastic. I have seen a few people talk about the fact that, oh my god, Bungie's not worth 3.6 billion. I'm sorry, you're telling me that the people who created Halo, yeah, they don't own the IP anymore, but they created Halo and Destiny 2 aren't worth $3.6 billion. They're probably worth more than that. The Witch Queen, which is coming out on the 22nd of February this month, get it everyone, has already sold 1 million copies.
They know their games.
Not enough.
Games as a service, didn't they? They know how to do games.
They
as a
know what they're
service.
doing. Yes, it doesn't always go
if they
right.
Make Marvel Avengers.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't always go
They may.
right. There is some issues, but generally 85% of the time, it's great. It's fantastic. Nobody has any problems. The storylines are great. The playing is great. Nobody to this day has been able to create anything like Destiny.
People say that it's not worth that amount of money when they sell DLCs for a full price game. Like, smart people. Bungie be smart. They know their stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily paying for the company, they're paying for the expertise behind the company.
Yeah,
So-
at this point, they're definitely paying for the expertise. Also, obviously, Destiny 2 has a lifespan at this point. It's already come out. It's already been out for 5 years. There is another unpublished game that is coming. They're hoping it will be before 2025. So, I mean, 3 years. We're going to start hearing about that soon.
Destiny
yeah.
3?
No, they've said they're not doing Destiny 3. Yeah, they've just said they're just doing Destiny 2 and it's going to keep running as that kind of thing. There's a lifespan to Destiny. We know the end of Destiny 2 as it is right now. Like, we know it. They've told us when it's going to be. We had this entire state of play thing for Destiny like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and we got all of like the titles for the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
I think it's good when they do something like this, though. It's like, yeah, you're kind of still having to pay out money for like these expansions and things, but it's not them just going, here's a new game. It's like, here's our game. We're just going to give you something else to put in it. And I think that's
the World of Warcraft model. You have your base, and then you have your expansions on top, and World of Warcraft is the best MMO RPG there is. Like,
Yeah.
so taking that model and then expanding on it to be a looter shooter, and Destiny does fantastically anyway. So
I think it's just a good concept. I think more games should do it like that. That's kind of what I was hoping they'd do with Overwatch, rather than just do Overwatch 2. Just build on like what they were doing for the longest time. Just keep building on that, and then obviously you've already got your player base. If you want them to buy expansions for certain maps or whatever, that's fair enough. People will pay for it. But the way we're going nowadays, I think that's going to be kind of where games go from now on as well. Eventually, these big, like these massive games that you want to have lots of stuff for, won't be just here's like a trilogy of games.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the game. If you want to play the other bits, it'll cost you a little bit, but you can play it.
Yeah.
We'll just keep adding to this base game that you've got. It's up to you if you want to keep spending money in it or not.
Yeah.
You don't have to as well, because you still got the base game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing
You'll
is,
still
it's like,
have a player base.
it's less work on the studios as well, because you're not then having to go, oh, right, well, we're going to forget about this game now and we're going to start entirely new on this one. It's like you're just continuously working on this one game for like years and years and years.
And that's what happened with Destiny 1 for a good like three or 4 years. It got forgotten because they were working on everything on Destiny 2. So that everything in Destiny 1, it was just like, back of the queue now. Sorry.
Well, again, coming back to Overwatch, they basically turned around and said, right, you're going to get a hero every like 4 months or something, and a new map every 6 months or something like that. And then they turned around, and I think it was like 2019, and went, yeah, that's the last thing you get.
Yeah.
We're working on Overwatch 2 now. That's the last thing you get. And we literally, I mean, I think we've had like maybe 3 or 4 deathmatch maps, and I don't play deathmatch. I want to play the actual, like,
the game
big maps and
that I pay for.
But like, it is a case of they've pretty much turned around and gone, we don't really care about this anymore. We're working on this because this is where all our money's going to come from. Now everyone's going to need to go out and buy Overwatch 2. And don't get me wrong, it looks brilliant. I can't wait for it. I will be getting it day one, and you will not see me for a month. But
you're still popping out this on a Tuesday. Wednesday.
I'll be playing Overwatch while we're recording. So
obviously, hang on, guys.
Yeah, that's it. In full cosplay.
Yes.
But like that's what I mean. Like Overwatch is like my favourite kind of game over the last few years, because I've just always gone back to it. But it just hurts that they've just neglected a game that is still played by a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just get with it.
Yeah, but
hopefully Xbox will kick them up the arse.
Well, yeah, I hope so. But yeah,
on Game Pass.
Everybody loves Game Pass. But yeah, there's obviously been, as with the Activision Blizzard, Microsoft, everybody going, oh god, no, Destiny's going to be exclusive to PlayStation. No, it's not. It's not going to be exclusive. There are going to be no exclusives for PlayStation. 1, they've come out and just outright said it, but 2, don't be fucking stupid. Literally, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. Millions. Well, I'm going lowballing there. It's millions of pounds for PC and Xbox people playing Destiny. They will not shoot themselves in the foot like that. And the other thing that I've been seeing people saying is, oh, Jesus.
Why? It's like, you're not going to take it away from
just
it.
Calm down. Don't go. I know I go for the most panic-ridden thing a lot of the time, but don't panic, guys. Seriously, calm the fuck down. You're not business experts. Shut up.
My question to the audience, to tweet at us your answers to this. Who's going to buy who next? Nintendo, are they going to buy Ubisoft?
Actually, I already may
Sony apparently are buying, who is it, Capcom now or something like that?
Capcom.
Calm down, internet. You can stop. I get that this is the second big one in like 2 weeks, but calm down.
I did also see that I can't remember the name of it, but someone's investigating obviously the deal between Xbox and Activision Blizzard, just to make sure that there's just not like too much money being spent on this acquisition and things. So
Still won't be the top though. Sony's still the top.
That will be now, yeah.
Nintendo are gonna buy both Sony and Microsoft, and they're just gonna become the big old Nintendo family, and we will all be Nintendo fan people.
I
saw a great meme the other day on Twitter. I don't know if you might have both seen it actually. Piper put it up. It was like a Godzilla, but with like the Xbox logo on him, fighting King Kong with the PlayStation logo, and they were fighting in the city, and you've just got Kirby as Nintendo like fishing on the beach. It's like, you two do what you like. I'm sitting here.
I'm still gonna sell all the Zelda.
We've been doing our card games since like 1800. We don't care. We just sit here and we make cute games that everybody buys because we're Nintendo. They don't need any. That's why Nintendo will always be top banana.
I imagine they could have just went, huh. Anyway.
Release Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
Please.
The sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Working title.
Yes, tell us what I want everybody's predictions in our comments and tweets everywhere. Who you think's going to buy who next?
Who? Yeah.
Is it going to be the Unnamed Gaming Podcast buys probably Concerned Ape because we love them.
Yeah.
They don't need us.
How much money do you think we have?
I've got 5p just over there.
Couldn't we do it the other way around? Concerned Ape buys us.
Yeah, can Concerned Ape buy us instead? And he can 8-bit us! And oh my god, he can 8-bit us, and all of our animations when we do the podcast are just 8-bit versions of us in Stardew Valley.
I will voice act so many characters.
We'll do it for free. I love it.
And we will all be romanceable in the Haunted Chocolatier.
Oh yes.
That's right.
Who wants to marry me? Oh, you both.
Right.
Bendy, yeah, go for it.
You've still got news.
Because literally I haven't had any time. And I don't know if I've only seen one source of it, so I don't know if it's actually an official thing because it's from Bloomberg. But apparently Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has been delayed till 2023.
Oh.
The new DC Rocksteady Warner Brothers Suicide Squad game has been delayed. That's my news. So
well, the thing is though, so many games are getting delayed at the moment.
It has been.
It's fine.
You are correct.
And it's fine. Just
you have been fact checked.
You've been fact checked.
Is it true?
It is true. Yeah, Polygon have come out.
Is it true?
Yeah.
You didn't just make it up.
Good.
Games Radar, they're all there, yeah.
Google it while I was watching Book of Fett earlier and was like, oh yeah, I need news. So sorry, I was very tired when I got home from work.
News would have been, I watched the Book of Fett.
Yeah, it was very good. It was fine. Well, you say Book of Fett. Anyway, we're not talking about Star Wars here. We're a gaming podcast.
That was last week's
We've already
news.
talked about D&D tangent things. It's fine. But that was my news. It's just that, and I'm okay with delays as long as a better game comes out of it in the end and there's not crunch and stuff.
It's not
Don't have a go at developers if they have to delay games. Just think of the staff. What if your work turned around to you and said you're going to have to work 23-hour days? You probably wouldn't like it. So get off Twitter if that's going to be your comment. That's all I have to say.
If I see anybody commenting saying they don't care about the developers working at a studio, they just want their game, you'll be blocked, you'll be reported, and I will find you and end you. All right.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, these delays, like, yes, you might be upset that you're not getting this game at this time, but it's for your benefit. They want to make this game the best possible experience they can for you to play. Just if you'd have just let them delay Cyberpunk the amount of time it actually needed,
you would have got.
Yeah, It
don't
probably
wanna
would have been
harp on
Game of
about
the
it.
Year or something.
Don't want to harp on about it because I like Halo fangirl. Don't watch that new trailer for that new series. I'm not really. I don't know if I'm sold yet. But they delayed that because people were saying this looks shit, and now they delayed it, worked on it, worked their butts off on it, and then actually released a decent game. So that's what you want, really.
Yeah.
You want a decent game rather than pushing people to bring out a game that just doesn't work. Everyone talks about it, everyone goes about it. Cyberpunk.
You wouldn't rush a baker or a seamstress to finish your cake or your clothes. So don't rush a game developer because it entails exactly the same techniques in how it needs to be made. So don't do it.
You put the game in the oven.
Yes, you put the game in the oven.
Fuck,
You
that's why I'm
literally-
not a developer.
You bake things.
2,000 degrees for 25 minutes.
Yep.
And then a game comes out.
Literally,
And
that's how it happens.
If you put it for 20 minutes, that's when you get a Bethesda glitch.
Yeah. It's actually a really good
Wow.
analogy.
Wow. Poor Bethesda.
Where it's gooey in the middle and something's not quite.
Bit gooey
It's
in
not
the-
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good Bethesda glitch because I love Bethesda, so I don't care.
It's just a meme now.
You're gonna get glitches in Bethesda games,
The
so
thing is,
we're fine with it.
if we're going with this analogy, if you let them get on with it, you're able to lick the bowl after. So
Exactly. Everybody wins.
It's right.
Well done.
I did a thing.
You've been tempered.
Tempered. Much like chocolate.
Tempered.
Right, let's move on to our question that has been posed and not by any of us. This has been
Because we don't
posed
do our
by
jobs anymore.
Mate. How many podcasts in? Like 17?
17?
17?
This
I've
would be
run out
18,
of-
I think.
Oh, is it
This
8?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 18.
Wow. And then the owners episode. But yes, this was posed by Mastodan92 on Twitter. I like this question, and mine's going to be a really cliche answer, so good times. What is your favourite video game baddie or villain, or both? What you got, guys? Tempus.
Me.
You had
right.
more than one, right?
I did. I had
Yeah.
more because there was. It did say baddies or villains, so I took it upon myself to do 2.
Somebody's using their noggin.
Yes. As soon as I saw that question, I had the answer straight away. And then when you went, I've got a question this week, I was like, it's that one, and I'm fine with it because I'm not struggling like I was last week.
Oh.
So the first villain that comes to my head that I absolutely love, not because he's like the most destructive villain of all time, just because of his character, like the voice acting and just the way they make him, not so much in the newer games, but like in the older games, is Dr. Nefarious from Ratchet and
I
Clank.
knew you were going to say that.
Something from Ratchet and Clank, I would have been disappointed.
I fucking love Dr. Nefarious, especially because he comes into it in Ratchet and Clank 3, and then he hangs around in like a few other games and everything. And obviously in the newer ones, the one for the PlayStation 4, where it's kind of like a soft reboot, and then obviously Rift Apart, he is basically Ratchet's nemesis now in like every game, and I'm for it. But in the original ones, he had like this crack in his head, and it's like every now and then he'd kind of like lose static or whatever. He'd be in the middle of a tirade and he'd just freeze, and it's just the way he just goes off, and the voice actor for him is absolutely brilliant. I cannot get enough of Dr. Nefarious. But the one that I would say you look at as an absolute dick, but he's so charismatic, you just couldn't help but like him. Handsome Jack.
Yes.
It's mine. That is mine. Actually mine. I'm glad I thought of another one too. So that's fine.
Stole it.
But it's so cliche because he is such a good villain.
He's
because
brilliant.
he's the hero.
Yeah.
He is.
Yep.
I totally agree. I think the charisma, the the writing of his character, both in the pre-sequel and in Borderlands 2, is just some top-notch villain writing.
Absolutely.
And they haven't managed to get to that status of I liked the Calypso twins for Borderlands 3, but you don't hate them as much as you hate Jack.
I just fucking hate them.
You hated them. They were dicks. But but Jack was brilliant because he'd just be taunting you over the radio the whole time. Or the thing is, in his head, he was doing what he thought was right. Obviously, most villains do, don't they? But he was. It's just, I mean, if you've not played Borderlands 2, cover your ears if you don't want a spoiler kind of thing. Spoiler countdown again.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
When you rescue his daughter and then all of a sudden he just teleports in, kills Roland. I was like, oh, now I hate you, but I still love you.
He is one of those.
He is fantastic, and I'll tell you, he was third. I have 2, and he was third for me. I love Handsome Jack. And I'm not saying that we should do an unnamed Borderlands 2 stream, but
well, I mean, I won't say anything.
I am trying. That's something I forgot in what we were playing. I'm trying to 100% it at the moment, and I have all the other characters to get the achievements for apart from Maya. So if we wanted to start a Borderlands 2 run.
Yeah,
I'll be Salvador, and he's got tiny legs.
I mean, I have it on the Xbox, so
I have it on Xbox as well. I think.
Yeah, we played it together on the Xbox.
When I actually fixed my Xbox.
Buzzing.
Not go to that.
I've just checked who the voice actor for Dr. Nefarious is. It's Armin Zimmerman.
What?
From Deep Space Nine. One of my favorite characters in Star Trek ever.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Yes. I do agree, like, voice acting can give so much.
So much, yeah.
To a character. And I think, I'm guessing, I've not played any Ratchet and Clanks, but I'm guessing Dr. Nefarious, great actor in general. And then the guy who plays Handsome Jack.
Yeah. They're just two villains that you just love them all the way through the game. Even like Nefarious is just like that comical, villain. He's not really, you wouldn't really consider him a threat as such. Yeah, he does stuff, but like from my point of view, it's like I'm always going to beat him. But with Jack, you kind of get that thing. It's like, he's so charismatic and he's trying to get you on his side most of the way through the game as well. But you know full well that if you wanted to, you would be dead. Just wouldn't even second thought about it. You just shoot in the back of the head.
When you get to Hyperion, like in the late game, he is literally just after you. Oh, it's great, so good.
Yeah.
But he also has like nuance in. He does love his daughter. He does love Angel, and you know it. And he thinks he's the hero. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
Deluded.
He's seeing what he's doing as the best for everyone.
Yeah.
But
he has like a Thanos thing going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's doing what he thinks is best, but he's doing it the wrong way.
Such a good film.
He is great.
Well, I'm sorry I stole your answer.
Oh, that's absolutely fine.
To be fair, the fact that we... Sorry, go on, Ben.
I thought it would come up. I thought somebody else would choose it. We probably should have spoken about it, but that's fine. That's why each of us chose more than one. So
we never speak about these things. But I think the fact
comes up.
Yeah, the fact that we've all chosen him, I think probably means he probably is actually the most memorable and best villain, just full stop.
Yeah.
On a consensus.
I'd go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we did like a tier list between us, I definitely think we'd agree with Jack being the top.
Be top. Like you look at like a lot of like top 10 best villains. Jack's always either one
there.
Or top 3.
Yeah.
Always. So yeah, he's well written. He's I guess relatable in a way. He's charismatic and
Yeah.
well, maybe just for me because I'm a sociopath probably.
Maybe.
So yeah,
But
that's yep. Jack.
He's got a great backstory to him as well.
Yeah.
Like a lot of villains just don't get that depth, and I love the fact that they kind of brought him back for the pre-sequel, and you kind of
You get a lot of his.
well, you
bit
get
of
to
his backstory.
play, you get to basically play everything he does up to the
Yeah.
point of Borderlands 2, and it just expands on him so much more.
I don't hate the pre-sequel. I don't. I think some of the mechanics in it are really like the auction mechanic. I'm not a massive fan of, and I know it was 2K
played
Australia
Claptrap.
rather than. Huh?
I played Claptrap.
Me too, because I love Claptrap.
Yep.
Anyone says best hero, Claptrap. But I think giving depth to Jack is and also Tales from the Borderlands as well.
Yeah.
Just giving that extra story of someone that they know that everybody loved as a villain was a good idea. Could have been maybe executed better, and there are some scenes in pre-sequel that. But yeah, it's Jack number 1, Timothy number 2, husband number 4.
Oh?
Oh, I should know this. I've done that Moxie
You've done
speech so many
I was going to
times.
say that.
I know Marcus is 2. I know Marcus is 2. So he's 3rd because she's looking for a 4th.
Ah, there you go.
There we go.
Very good.
Very good. All right, Nettle. Apart from Jack, who was your 3rd, like
Third.
Moxie's husband.
Exactly.
Who are your 2 that you're?
So
thinking
much like Tempus, I've gone for one that I think is like, yeah, best villain, and one that's a bit important to me as a villain. So the important to me as a villain is Uldren Sov from Forsaken, because he's the bad guy in Forsaken. He's never been a bad guy before. He's been a dick, but he was never a bad guy before Forsaken. And then the whole storyline of Forsaken is Uldren being the bad guy. He kills Cade, which to this day people still have not forgiven him for. It's been out for so many years, okay? That's not a spoiler. If you haven't played it by now, it's your fault. Yeah, exactly. People still hate him for it. And the reason why it's so important is because the entire campaign for Forsaken, we were like, I fucking hate him. I'm gonna kill him. I don't like him. I'm just gonna destroy this guy. And then at the end, when you do get to confront him, he says a very memorable line of the line between light and dark is so very thin. Do you know which side you're on? And of course, every Guardian went, yeah, we're good. We're good, bitches. We're good. 2 years later, we are starting the campaign for Beyond Light, and we are meeting the darkness, and we realise that line between light and dark is very thin. And we just crossed it and got our darkness powers, which is exactly what Uldren Sov was doing. And Uldren Sov had an actual excuse because he was being controlled by a space dragon. We just willingly went, literally.
Space dragon.
Literally. We just went, yeah, we want the powers. So it's that point where he's like, he was the villain. He did really bad things. But at the end of it, he did them because he thought he was bringing someone back that he loved and thought that everyone needed. And we got really high and mighty with him and then basically did the same thing. And we realised we'd been killing all of these people and saying we were the good guys. And we're like, oh, are we the bad guys? And then we find out,
Baddie?
Are we the baddies? And we find out that in an alternative universe, the Guardians in fact did succumb to the darkness and became bad guys. They were not good. We became the worst things that in that universe. So that one storyline sparked this cascade down, which meant every single Guardian then had to think about what they were doing. And then we got Aldrin Sov back as a Guardian. And everyone went nuts. Because there was still that argument going on about whether he was a bad guy or whether he wasn't, because he was now a Guardian who couldn't remember that. And even worse now, he now remembers the fact that he was a bad guy because of another bad guy that's come along, and it's all got a bit messy. So, but yeah, he was just a really good bad guy. He was Dick. He killed everybody's favourite character. And we wanted to hate him, and we did for an awful long time until we realised that actually we were just as bad as him in many respects. So yeah, that's my personal one. But my overall one of all time, the best bad guy, is actually a bad girl. It's GLaDOS. I love GLaDOS so much!
Okay, yeah. She's usually up there with Jack, actually,
Yes.
GLaDOS.
She's an AI who thinks that the only way to get good things in life is to kill humans because we're all stupid. And she's pretty much right at this point in time. But like, the fact, the entire first one, you're just going through and she's saying the most sarcastic, brilliant lines to you. And you're sitting there going, fucking shut up, I love you. It's like, everybody remembers, you will be baked. And then there will be cake. It's like, she's so iconic. She's an AI. She's going to kill you. She's going to do it in the best way possible by testing you. It's a bit different in the second one because she becomes a potato and is, you have to work with the person that was the robot that was trying to kill you. Wheatley is not a good bad guy. Wheatley is an idiot, but
Wheatley's not a good bad guy.
But yes, my favourite bad girl of all time is GLaDOS.
Good choice.
Good choice. I guess I'll go with my other one, which I think is probably quite obvious because we've all chosen things from things that we absolutely love. So Tempus, have a guess who you think it's going to be.
Is it the villain from The Last of Us?
Yes.
Damn it.
Know who that is.
See, I thought I was close with Jack Frost from Cthulhu Saves Christmas, but
Oh,
Son of a bitch.
son of a bitch.
It is Ganondorf.
I thought it would be.
Specifically from Ocarina of Time. Like
I
like Ganon. I like Ganon. He's a good overall villain in the whole of him. You always fight against Ganon. Ganondorf has a very, I guess in a way, Handsome Jackie vibe about him. And when you first see him, when you go to the window and you look through after you first meet Zelda, and then you go and speak to the Gerudo and think about him. He does have that kind of charisma about him, but then he just rips the world apart. You don't know how it happens. You wake up 7 years later and he's just destroyed everything. And I love the beating him with his own spell. So you can't really hit him early game with your sword like you normally would. You need to bat that ball back to him, and it's just it's showing that you're not strong enough just yet. He is very strong. Use his power against him, and then the power of friendship at the end, I like to think. Link and Zelda, power of friendship. But I think he's and he's menacing looking as well.
Yeah.
And he has menacing names like the Man in Black and the Man of the Gerudo. And yeah, I think he's a great villain. But again, that's because Zelda is close to my heart. And I would like to give a little shout out to, and I don't necessarily think she is a great villain, but I want to give a shout out to her because she's only villainous for the way that for the way that she was treated, and that's Faith Seed.
Ah,
So
yeah.
if you read like up on Faith and her life before she was in the cult, you can understand why she is the way that she is.
Hmm.
Like she has like a really tragic backstory and stuff, and easily led, and then also a fairly good charismatic villain too. Joseph. He's Joseph Seed. He is a cult of personality. Like he is a cult leader. Not as good as Jack, and Jack should have had a cult. Like the Calypso twins should not have had a cult. The cult leader is Jack because because of his charisma. Like, yeah. So yeah, there are my little nods, but we're all in agreement here. Jack.
Jack wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack wins.
Jack.
If this was Celebrity Deathmatch,
Jack would
Jack would win.
definitely.
Would, man.
You would get Butt Stallion out here and
Stallion!
destroy everybody with Butt Stallion.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good question, Master Dan. Thank you so much.
Brilliant
for
question.
That. I hope it answered all of your questions. Who's your favourite villain?
Yes.
Not
tell
you guys,
us.
because you've already said.
Oh.
The listeners, the people who are watching, tell us, let us know. Is that it? Is that where we are?
I think
that's
so.
it.
I think that's a
Think so.
podcast.
The first face week.
Many
enjoyed FaceTiming
to
with us.
come.
I mean, I would like to just put in a disclaimer. If you're listening to this in podcast version, you won't actually
Yeah, you
see our
won't see our faces. This is
But-
just for the YouTubers.
For YouTube purposes.
But
Hello.
You can put
These
video.
are our faces.
Can you?
Go to YouTube. You can put video on Spotify, I think, but I'm not going to try and do that. I'm not
Do
going to
that.
bother. So
That's too much.
we're going to put it to YouTube and have a look at our faces.
No.
Just search
So-
the Unnamed Gaming Podcast, or one word. You'll
Gaming.
find us.
Yeah, not the No, we're not going to mention that.
No,
If you're
we don't
listening,
advertise
thank you.
others.
Spider-Man
You
meme.
should go and listen to them. Wait. Right. You're both up. We're both up. Yours is easy.
If none of these match up now, this is fantastic. I'm not being.
And
The best thing is
Craig?
we'll all. I was going to say we'll all end up just pointing at Craig.
Craig?
this is
This
guys,
is
this
Craig.
is what Craig looks like. This is what we have to look at every time we record the podcast.
This is
and
Craig.
This is Craig.
When you
This
hear
is
us
Craig.
moaning about Craig,
This is
This
why.
is Craig.
he's the bear with the microphone.
It's not a dummy, as I have thought for about 7 weeks now.
That has been us this week. We've had laughs, we've had faces. Join us. Let's say goodbye. Where are we? Tempus, where are you?
You can find me everywhere at Tempusbe, all one word.
Yeah.
I did
All
it.
the socials. You did
That's
it. Nettle.
I am Nettlecreates. You can find me everywhere as Nettlecreates.
And I've been bendied.
You've done yourself.
She bended herself.
Feels like you should be able to bend that way, but
Well, yeah, Bendy, Ben's costuming, or whatever my name is. Follow me everywhere. We've been the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, T_U_G_P Unnamed Gaming Podcast. And Twitch, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, everywhere. Listen to us. We love you so much. Thank you,
Do it.
everybody who listens.
do it.
Yes, we
If you
appreciate
have
every
any
single
questions,
listen.
send them to us.
I know it doesn't sound like we appreciate every single lesson, but we do.
We do. We do. We might moan and rage a little, but we appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to us.
little.
There was no rage
Our
this week.
audience. Who?
There was no rage this week.
I'm raging at the fact that there's no rage.
Shit.
Got through
You shouldn't have pointed out, Tempus.
an hour of 20 without raging, but
Yeah, look,
Crazy.
there had to be a
Crazy.
week. There had to be a week.
Yes.
I'm sure something will come up next week.
oh, I'm sure I'll get it. Yeah.
It's when
It's me next
I
week.
don't know, Sony buys Microsoft and we're like,
We all know that's definitely not going to
and-
happen.
and then
What? When Sony buys Microsoft and makes all Xboxes obsolete from now on,
yeah.
so you have to buy PlayStations.
Can I at least trade my Xbox Series X in?
No, they become worthless.
Sony, why?
Anyway.
Anyway, we've been the Unnamed Gaming Podcast. You've been beautiful as always. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you, and you will see us next week.
Bye.
Stop waving. Stop it! Stop it!